This is OSNG, Old School Next Generation. We're a dad and two sons who grew up in the woods and learned to hunt the old way. This show isn't about telling you how to hunt. It's about the stories, the screw-ups, the lessons you only learn the hard way, and the memories you don't want to lose. None of it exists without my dad. He taught us how to hunt, how to act, and when to shut up and pay attention. OSNG isn't a podcast. It's who we are. We're all freaks. And this is Old School Next Generation. Welcome back to OSNG. Tonight we talk about two types of hunters. The ones who go in there and try to kill one, and the ones who sit back and hope a buck messes up. Now, everybody thinks they land somewhere in the middle, but if we're really being honest, we all lean one way or the other. So we're going to figure out tonight exactly where we are. And then we're going to make it even worse, because in the second half of tonight's episode, you don't get options anymore. You get one way to hunt. That's it. There is no depends. This is OSNG. Let's get to it. I'm Clark. This is Jamie. This is Jaden. So let's start off with aggressive and conservative. Okay? What would you consider yourself, aggressive or conservative?
We know this answer.
Probably more conservative.
Okay. All right.
I probably lean more aggressive.
Okay.
I'll toe the line, and it's got to be the right situation.
Well, let's make one dissent.
Did we just talk about?
I said I'm conservative.
We can find the gray area, but I want us to say I'm this.
I'm aggressive.
You're aggressive. You're conservative. I think I am aggressive, light, and that's where that gray area comes in. Okay. I would say that earlier in my career, I was more conservative, more like you. Later, I've become more aggressive, not as aggressive as you. But there are pluses and minuses to both sides. All right. So let's talk about the conservative side first. Why do you go with the conservative side?
Well, could you imagine Pawpaw doing some of the things that we do now?
Like?
For example,
moving. Like if we don't like a spot, we'll get up and move. Mm-hmm. Especially depending on time of year, situation, what have we seen, things like that. But Pawpaw would write it out because what if, and I'm not really a what if guy, but it's got to be the right wind. Do I have a play? What do I think he's going to do? Like there's got to be some sort of structure to the plan. I won't just get up and go. Whereas that's a little different than him.
All right. Well, before we get too deep into it, why do you feel like you're aggressive?
I felt like early on I was more conservative because I didn't want to make a mistake, but I feel like sitting back and watching and praying something comes by. I've gotten so close so many times at this point, I'm thinking if I have an opportunity, I have to make the most of it because you don't get very many.
Okay. Now I want to ask, and you say you're more conservative, you're more aggressive. So I'm going to go with you first and say, what would you consider aggressive?
Spot and stalk. Or that would be probably the most aggressive I would get. I would maybe make a play, depending on what I'm seeing. If I've got an angle to get to a different spot, like with a mobile setup, I would absolutely move, to see if I could get myself in a better spot. But I'm not going to see a deer at 300 yards and try to spot and stalk there. It's going to be dependent on just the situation that it is. And that's why I say I'm conservative. I'm not going to risk something because when they're at that distance, I don't know where they're going. Mm-hmm. Like the deer that I missed this year, I could have made a move. He wasn't paying attention to me. He was angling back to my east, but I was like, well, can I hit him with this? And if he comes in, I'll have a play. If not, I don't have time. So that was me making an effort to get somewhere. But it completely depends on, number one, the deer, and then two, the situation and all the things that play into it.
Okay. What do you consider conservative?
Not taking chances. Just
How so?
Going to your tree, sitting, whatever happens, happens. I could see a good one 200 yards away. Oh, he went by. I could see 100 yards away. He's out of reach. Whatever. I'm just going to, this is my spot. I'm this is my tree that I have my stand in, and this is where I'm going to sit. And it doesn't change their way, or at least a different approach.
Okay. I don't disagree with either of you, but I want us to open up our viewpoints a little bit here, because I don't want it to just, our discussion on aggressive and conservative, to just be about what you do when you see a deer. I want us to think about our style in choosing a stand location, looking at an entry route. When do you make a play on a deer that you see? Do you grunt at a certain time, or do you hold off? I think all of those things go into being aggressive or conservative. Now, I thought maybe you guys would go to if you make a play on a deer or whether you don't, because that is something that I have evolved over, the last 10 years or so. But I think a lot more goes into it than just what you do when you see that target buck.
I mean, going there, then I would I'm aggressive because I take a climber probably more than anything, because I can get into different trees, different parts of the woods, different angles of a certain spot, and kind of throw a curveball. Mm-hmm. Always be in a different tree, or try to be in a different tree almost every time, because after a while they're going to know that's a tree that I've seen a hunter in. They know that stuff. I don't typically blind grunt. I wait until there's something in my area, because they're going to check the area first. If they see something. And okay, here's our first conundrum. You're conservative, you're aggressive. You don't blind grunt, you do. Mm-hmm. That is the exact opposite of what I would say.
Well, and if we're going across the board, if you wanted to put it on a political spectrum.
No, stop.
We don't use don't use the P word. Oh, relax. If we were going to have, sit in the stand in the middle and back off, this way or that way, I would be farther towards aggressive than, straight up conservative.
I'll blind rattle more than I'll blind grunt.
Well, the thing is
I'm that depends guy.
Yeah. So when
with
is
all
it?
Of this,
when is it? Are we blind grunting in the second week in November? Because I have no problem doing that. Wait about 45 minutes to an hour and hit it again. Is it, the last week of October? No, I don't think I'd do that. I'd grunt at a deer. But
see, I think, in my opinion, is you'd have more luck blind grunting the last week of October than you would the mid 2 weeks of November.
When they're ramping up and they're getting to that,
they're all tested up and not with a doe. I think you have a better chance to pull one in off of a blind grunt.
Well,
but that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I think we have all completely different views on it.
The thing is when I say that is, once we hit that second week of November, all of them are moving. We have had...
Unless they're locked down.
Well, but what I'm saying is how many mature deer have we killed in October?
I've got 2 or 3, but here's the thing. I didn't hunt a lot in October until more recently.
I understand. You slipped up on one and made the right call on another, but historically, when we're just saying,
never mind.
I'm just saying,
I've got 3 deer on the wall that I killed in October.
One from 1990 or 89.
90? No, he was 189.
No, 1990.
Oh, the 8.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought he was talking about that.
Yeah. No. Keep your mouth shut. So you got him. You've got him, and then
the 9.
The 9. So 2 of those 3 came in one spectacular year where it seemed like everything went right. Correct?
Okay.
There was a 30-year gap,
but it was COVID, and he had more time to hunt in October.
But I will also say Leroy was like, we don't hunt until at least mid-October.
Push that this way. It's tugging.
I hate it when it tugs.
And I'll go back to a couple of other episodes that we've had. Middle of October sucks. That Halloween on is my favorite time to hunt. Historically, that's when I've seen the best movement. Every once in a while, you'll see it a little earlier. Even when you killed him, you said it was abnormal for him to move as early as he did, the way he did.
No, I mean, it all depends on the situations. You know, it wasn't incredibly cold, but we had the corn come out, and it was October 24th,
Which
and
I
that's
think
kind of
is-
getting into that,
and
that
I think that
prime
was,
range.
I
yeah.
think that was more of an aggressive approach, and it paid off.
Well, and I also think that yeah, at that time, I thought, boy, that's kind of early based on my history. But
'Cause there
over
were-
the last few years, I'm like, well, no, not really.
There were variables that were not necessarily in your favor, but you said corn's out, I'm going. That's an aggressive approach, and I think it paid off.
Okay,
I
so
completely disagree. I thought
So-
that morning was perfect.
So you guys are varied back and forth. I would consider myself more aggressive, but situationally aggressive. And I was taught by Leroy, who I think overall was more conservative up to a point, and then he was ultra aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, when it came time, he was making it happen one way or another. So let's say this: is there a time when you switch that style up? I say it depends. For me, is there a time when you would go very conservative, and what would that be?
If I hunted a property that's 2 acres and I had no room for error, but we don't, so I feel like there's more. I can play a little bit more. We don't have like land that we can do whatever we want on, but like when it comes to, like, you hear about these bucks being killed on these small parcels of land, it's amazing because they have no room for error. There's hardly any room anyway. But then when you cut your playing field down to that's you have to be very concerned. You can't be aggressive. But in our situation, when it comes to land and how, the area we can hunt, I think that's when I would be conservative, is whenever I have to hunt something no bigger than a football field.
Okay. What about you? When would you switch?
Depending on what I'm looking at. I believe if you come at the king, you best not miss. So if we're going to go do something, it's got to be done right. And it has to be down to, like, literally everything has to be right. If I'm going in one day in a spot that we've never hunted or never wanted to touch, I can't just go, well, I'm going to walk in today and we're going to plop down here. No. It's got to be extremely thought out. Make sure we're not blowing anything up. Make sure that we know all the variables have been the same for what we want, and that's to go kill a specific deer, hunt a specific spot. If it's entrances, that doesn't bother me. Is it hot? If it's hot, I'm taking shortest distance, point A to point B.
If it's hot, he's not going.
If it's hot, I'm walking right through the bedding area. I don't care.
Yep. Because what's going to be worse?
Stay off of my area if you're going to do that.
I'm just saying.
He ain't going to go when it's warm anyway.
What's going to be the problem?
He's sweating now.
Yeah, me too. But that was from temper earlier.
Yeah, you.
Temper.
Go ahead, princess.
You got anything else to say?
What, you two are tense tonight.
Yeah,
No,
he won't shut up. I'm sitting here trying to talk, and
This is why I sit in the middle. Okay, enlighten us.
well, I mean, what's going to be worse? Especially the way that we hunt. You guys use climbers. I like to use the mobile systems. Nothing's light. You can market it on light. It's not light. We're carrying 20, 25 pounds in. What's going to be worse, walking half a mile to save your wind, or get up the tree and limit your...
That depends on the weather. If it's not hot, I'll walk the half mile.
But that's
if
what I
it's
was,
the right move.
That's what I was saying. If it's hot, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
If it's hot, I'm probably not going.
Well, we say that. There's pictures of us.
Well, I know,
drenched
but those
in
are...
sweat.
and I would also say that those aren't...
But we were.
And this is where I'm going to go here in a minute. So let's go to you. When would you switch?
You already have.
If I was hunting a good buck on 2 acres of land. is
Okay,
whenever I'd be
the small area.
conservative.
Okay. Where I was going to go with that is it's situational. There are times when you would push it, and there are times when you wouldn't, and there have been times when we've gone when it's hot, but I wouldn't go in what I felt was truly a big buck kill location when it was 85 degrees.
But I feel like that's situational too. What if we've got a dude patterned?
I have no confidence when it's that warm that he's going to be where we think he's going to be.
Me and you went and sat when it was 90 in a blind for that 12.
Yeah, we shouldn't have done it. How did that work out?
It didn't.
We never
work.
saw him again.
It didn't work, but the thought process was aggressive.
The thought process was
I
aggressive,
don't
but
care
again,
how
we
long
never
it
saw
is.
that deer again.
No.
And that's what I'm looking back on these experiences and go, yeah, I wanted to push the envelope there and it didn't work out. And when you get ultra aggressive, you also have consequences to that.
Which is why I say if you come at the king, you best not miss.
Because you may only get one opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. You guys are...
Don't say you guys. I'm fine.
Okay. Are there any times that you absolutely refuse to take a risk? Are there instances where you go, the possible ramifications are not worth the aggressive risk here?
Too many eyes.
Okay.
If it's just me and him, all cards are on the table. I'm doing whatever I can. When they're with a group of does, hence this year, it gets to the point where you're like, that's a dumb move.
Okay, let's talk about that because you played pretty conservative because of the eyes and it didn't work out. Do you, looking back now, wish you'd have been more aggressive? No. You're okay with that?
There's nothing else I could have done.
Okay.
I couldn't have done anything more aggressive. I mean, I was behind a log with 10 does literally at all directions, and I still ended up getting an arrow off somehow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about you? Is there a situation where you're always going to push the envelope and be aggressive?
Absolutely. And like I said, if you come at the king, you best not miss. I've said that 3 times in the last 5 minutes, but I truly believe that.
Original thoughts.
I know, right? I sound like a broken record. If there's any shot that this could be detrimental, like let's say it's the first time we've seen the dude and we've got to play, but is this worth it right now? Okay, so he's continuing to come back. We're getting into the rut. Is he going to be on his feet more? Is it worth moving 200 yards to get a shot? I don't know. That makes me nervous because we've got plenty of deer that you see one time in the woods and one little mess up and it's over. And number one, if I did that, I'd be wrecked over the coals if I blew a deer. So there's that. There's a little peer pressure there, genuinely. Okay, I don't want to be the dude to screw it up. But that's me in real life anyway. That's not just hunting.
That's true.
I don't want to be the dude that causes problems.
You're also chancing to not ever have an opportunity or see him again.
All right. Is there a time when you just would not take a risk? What are the situations where you'd be like, nope, I'm just going to sit here, and then you take that. If he messes up, great, and if he doesn't, I'm better off.
If he's on a doe, I'd rather gamble, especially where we've hunted throughout.
Well, I mean, if he's on a doe, he's not going to worry about you.
But she will.
Yeah,
he ain't going to care.
No, I'm saying conservative wise, you're correct.
Well,
if he is with a doe, he's not. He's going to go wherever she is, and he's going to probably be out of there soon.
Well, but what I'd rather do is sit there because I've seen him chase all the way around back to me before. So okay, they're in the south part of the woods. I can see his rack. There's a 25% chance she comes north. They're not working south. They can either go east, west, or north. So I guess 33%. Okay, I'm cool with this. Let's just sit and see what happens. And sometimes you'll sit there and they'll go the wrong direction, but you don't have a shot outside of them coming towards you. So I would much rather sit here, let things work naturally, and just be a ghost rather than
big ghost.
Be like, let's go put a play on somebody and see what we can do. Like they're working west. Can I, meet them off? Well, now, like you said, there's eyes. I'm not as worried about a group of does as you are, especially if I can see them. If I know,
I'll be aggressive with 1 or 2 does in a group. I ain't being aggressive with what I dealt with this year.
I ain't been caught yet with a group of does yet.
It's coming.
And when it does, it happens. But
I was just on the ground. That was the worst case scenario.
Well, and here's, I say that, I am situational. The more I think about it, I think that more often than not, I am conservative. With
you absolutely are.
Opportunistic. Well, with opportunistic aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Because I will, and it's weird to see how my mindset has changed over that, because it was very conservative, then more aggressive, and it's like now I'm more conservative, but I pick and choose where I want to be aggressive in what situations depending on what's going on. I don't really blind call anymore at all.
If I blind call at all, like I said, it would be a rattle because it travels more.
I'd only do that in the right situation where I had, a good background and they, I couldn't get it. I've been burned by blind grunts, blind rattles. These mature bucks that we chase get mature for a reason. They're going to come in and they're going to circle you, and they may circle. They'll do that half mile. Mm-hmm. I mean, you may not, and I've seen them come in, and I've seen them skirt me at 100, 150 yards. I've seen that, but I've also darn well known that that's where he's at. I rattle, I've got the wind in my favor, and the next thing I know, I got him behind me 150 yards, and I have no idea how he got there. I believe that they still will skirt all the way out and around. So I have stopped doing that as much as I used to because it did not work. I've killed a couple of deer that I have rattled or have grunted in, but it's always been that perfect scenario. It's always been where
my first bow buck was a blind rattle.
Yeah,
which he's 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's a moron, but
it has to be that perfect scenario with a rattle. Man, if you can hunt around a lake edge where your wind is going to go out over that lake, or you are hunting, with a really thick bluff or something behind you, man, that's perfect. They can't get behind you if you've got that wind blowing. That's the perfect situation. Same thing for a grunt. So I think as I think through this, I think I'm more conservative with opportunistic parts of being aggressive, because I have put stalks on deer. I did kill a good deer on a stalk, but I've messed way more stalks up than I've done, or that I've been successful on. And I'm really hesitant to do that because there is no margin for error. I would rather observe, especially if we have time. Now, we put a stalk on, I did this year, but it was the last hunt of the year. Mm-hmm. If it hadn't been the last hunt of the year, I probably wouldn't have tried.
I mean, you were 65 yards away in a tree line, and I was watching him, and I'm like, I'm in a tree, you're not. You need to make this happen.
Yeah. Well, but
we have nothing to lose at that point, really.
Right. It's now or never. More often, I would rather, and I think I do this early in the year, and I hunt a lot with a climber. I'll hunt the fringes, I'll hunt the field edges, and I'll observe, and I'll see where they're entering, where they're exiting, where they're coming from. And then when the conditions are right, then to me, that's when I get aggressive. Like where I killed Loki this year, that was the second time I hunted that corner. We left it alone.
Mm-hmm.
For a reason.
I didn't hunt that corner, if you want to consider the corner being 75 yards south of that.
Yeah.
I hunted that once 75 yards south where you killed him, but I didn't touch that corner.
But that's what I think that's where being opportunistic and then knowing the right time to get aggressive and go in there. And that's, I think, part of where you go back and forth. And right now we can say it depends on the situation. Here in a little bit, we're going to turn that around, and you can't say depends on the situation. That should be interesting. But I have a couple more topics that I wanted to talk about with being aggressive or being conservative. Wind is a big thing. Mm-hmm. Wind is a big thing.
That's the first thing I look for.
I have changed my thoughts. When carbon clothing first came out, it was like, you got to have a carbon suit, you got to have a scent suit, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's going to be the end all be all, hunt 360. No.
You can't eliminate your scent no matter how
we're sticklers for scent. We shower before every hunt. We wash our clothes. We spray down. It doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter. It might help a little bit. You might get away with a little more than you would have otherwise. But I've done everything right and still gotten busted by a light swirling wind. So I pay way more attention to the wind now than I ever have. Thoughts?
I mean, you guys don't spray down as much as I do. I carry it religiously.
No, I'll spray down before I leave the truck, and I'll spray down when I'm set up.
Well, I mean, Dad said it was like mid-November and you guys hadn't bought a bottle yet. And I had 2 in the back of my truck.
The last year or two, I have not cared as much.
That's him, not me.
Yeah.
I've not went without a bottle.
I mean, because here's the thing. Even if it helps a little bit, why not?
Sure, I get it.
You know, like,
I get it.
No, you can't eliminate. Like, they can call it scent elimination. You're not eliminating it.
Control.
But you're not controlling it either. But, just a little bit. If it's going to help, why not? But your scent's going to be a huge factor in anything you do. We discuss, walking in on a hot day versus, a typical fall day. Yeah, I'm going to take point A to point B because I'm going to stink. That stuff we use, it ain't.
You are a sweaty son of a gun.
I can smell you from here.
Well, I mean, it's not going to do anything.
It's my breath.
For you.
You know what it smells like?
No. Don't say it.
So, I mean, you just got to be careful with it. Pay attention.
Marginal wind. How do you handle a marginal wind? It's not quite right.
Climber. Make it right.
I like that. I like that.
That's why I use a climber more
Okay.
often than not, because I have way more options with whatever.
So you
I do
can't
with.
get in the tree you want.
And that happens sometimes.
That happens, but then
Yep.
you go with the best setup you can find.
You know what?
You know, it
can
may
get
not be
into?
perfect, but it's the
Well,
best.
and I
you can
think
get.
that's where the depends comes in. Yes, you go with the best setup you can. I would go with the best setup I can on a food source. I would not go on the best setup I can on a bedding area. I would not hunt with a marginal wind on a bedding area.
No.
That's a no-go for me. A food source, a field, a food plot. Yeah, if they get over here in the field, if they come up, I'm going to be, kind of in a pickle. But 80% of it is I'm going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
With a bedding area. No. But that also is, I think, and I'm switching gears here because there's some other things I want to get through. No, actually, it's the next topic. It is selecting the right time to be aggressive with pressuring that bedding area. We kind of have an idea of where our bedding areas are in our hunting areas, and we overall do not hunt them. We hunt the fringes. We hunt the edges.
I think the main.
Depending on the wind, we might push in a little bit.
I think the main part about that with one of the properties specifically is there's so many bedding areas. You might set up well on this one, but your wind's going to be blowing to the one behind it. And it's like because there's too many. There's not a solid bedding area in this one spot where you can actually set up on it and be fine. Like I'm thinking of there. You got that one in the south. There's a really good one in the north, and we like to try to play that a little bit. But when you play that one, you're going to put all your wind into that south one, and you're like, what do you do? It's almost impossible to hunt that. Bedding area wise.
Mm-hmm. James?
I zoned out. What was the question?
That's insane.
Thanks for playing. Pressure on a bedding area. When do you put pressure on it? When do you push up against it? When do you sit smack in the middle of it? Because I've done that. Not very often, but I've done it.
A windy day.
Yeah.
Heavy wind.
Mm-hmm.
One of those days that you do not want to be in the stand. That's the day that you sit on.
But
the
you don't
bedding
like a
area.
roller coaster ride?
No, I do not.
But yes, I
that's the
agree.
day-
When you've got that 25 mile an hour wind, that's when you go in there and you sit smack dab in the middle of it.
Because the worst thing-
And you sit all day long.
The worst thing you could do is get a light wind. It might be a perfect day, but oh well, it's a light wind. There's almost nothing. I've got it perfect. I could sit up here. That's going to be way worse than a hurricane coming through.
as long as you can stay in the tree.
Outside of personal safety, why
I've been there
not?
before.
Yeah, when the tree leans forward while I'm taking a leak.
That's why you always put it in the back
Well,
corner.
I mean, I used to think, this is a beautiful day. It's so quiet and still. And no,
That's not what you
I'd
want.
rather have a 15 mile an hour wind. if I'm hunting.
eliminate their ears a little bit more.
Ears, scent, it disperses better.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's when you push in on that bedding area.
As long as my arrows
when you're
not
in
going
the
too
bedding
far.
area, that's the only time you need to be in the bedding area. Because otherwise, even a completely still wind, that scent goes somewhere.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to at least drop.
It's going to drop,
Yeah.
and it's going to
Yeah.
follow those valleys, which what they like to
Well,
run.
okay, and this goes to another place, and anybody that's watching us that isn't from the Midwest, and this is something that I can't wrap my head around, are the thermals.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about a hill. Well, the hill's 20 feet. I mean, that's not really. I mean, it does affect, in the
it
morning,
does,
and
but
it
then
does,
you got
but
these
you
other
can't really
people-
hunt that.
You got these other people that are hunting legit, like,
Ridges and mountains that, I mean, it's all about the thermals.
yeah.
With us, it's not, because that ridge, that 20-foot hill, what that does is it swirls that wind.
Yeah, it
I mean,
just
we've
makes-
gotten burned so many times because of that little ridge.
We got to move that stand this year.
We said that last year. And
I
we
know
didn't do
we
it.
never got to it, but we have to.
And you
this year.
hunted it one time. I think we were in
And
that stand one time. Were you in that stand at all this year?
I've never hunted it.
I got busted 2 or 3 times in one sit, and I was
Yep.
like, I'm not doing it again.
Yeah. All right. So that's when you can, push in on that bedding area. But I think you have to be, you have to know the right time to do it. And that's where I think that depends comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You know where it's at. You've got your game plan. And when the conditions are right, then you take that aggressive step. So, all right. First sit or waiting for that first sit? Do you go, your spot? Do you, at the beginning of the season, take the first opportunity to get in there, or do you wait for the exact right time? You're saying no, and you're the aggressive one. Now, to me, that's conservative.
It is. Like, I mean, and that comes back down to the depends thing. Now, we've talked about before how most of the time our bucks are pretty, we know they're going to be in there in September. Because, every 2 days, every day, or every 3 days, they're on that pattern. Most of the time, by the time October 1st rolls around, they're out. They're more sporadic.
Mm-hmm.
We have a buck that's still on that summer pattern. You best believe I'm going to be in there first thing. More times than not, that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you shift your focus to.
I didn't know they had calendars, but apparently they have calendars.
They have calendars. They know when. I mean, they don't know shotgun season until it's World War III out there, and then they lock down. But now, if that doesn't happen, and they've already hit their fall patterns and they're sporadic, I don't see I'm more of a seeing an opportunity than just being aggressive to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to, anyway, I take my climber to be in different trees, different spots, so they don't necessarily lock in on you in a certain tree.
Mm-hmm.
That's aggressive. But when it comes to, actually doing something about a situation, I have to see it.
Okay, James?
I'll get in. At least observation. I don't have to go in with the mentality of I'm going to kill something tonight, just to be able to go sit in a stand and
See a lot.
And if I'm going to do that, I'll be able to shoot a field edge. But outside of that, I want to be able to see everything, because you never know. You never want to take yourself
Just
out
because
of a
they're on your
play.
camera doesn't mean they're not there.
That's right. And
Well-
and we're going to cameras next, but that is something, and I've preached that to you guys here. That deer's not on this farm. That deer's not on this farm. Well, we may have 5 cameras there, but we still only see, 2% of the farm?
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
Well, I
not
mean,
even.
Yeah.
It was like October 6th, the year you killed Vader, and I'm sitting in an observation stand, and it's a horrible bow stand.
With that too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that 2-man, it's horrible. But the next thing I know, here comes Vader off the mound.
Yeah.
And we thought he was gone.
No, we didn't.
I thought
We thought they could bet on that mound, but we didn't know, because we'd found his shed up there. We thought that might be an area for him. But we also saw him at the north side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't know where he was going to be. The trail cam pictures are all north. Well, I'm sitting on 2 fields, and with an hour and 15 minutes left, I turn around and there's a booner.
And you had more intel from that one hunt than we had in a month of trail cams.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he had kind of went into fall pattern. We didn't get him as much, and
Well, because he went to the mound.
Yeah.
Which
he
is why
he
I
moved
hunted-
further south. Yeah.
Which is why I hunted
Yep.
that stand, so I could watch the north field and the south field all night.
Yeah.
And I can cover a ton of ground. So I'm going to get in just because I finally can. with the mentality of if something happens, it happens, but what information can I get out of this to help down the road so I make a better calculated decision?
And again, depends. Okay, if you've got one that you are getting regularly, you feel confident that you've got them patterned, okay, go in. Try to kill them before they get off of that late summer pattern when they start cruising for does, because, you know, I always felt like, well, the rut is the best time to hunt. The rut is like the worst time to hunt. I mean, yeah, you may end up with a booner that you've never seen or heard of, but the guy you've been chasing for 6 months may get killed 3 farms away too. In the early season and in the late season, you have a much better chance of being able to pattern, being able to hunt them, being able to go after a specific deer. So those early seasons, when you have one that is patterned, go for it. If you don't, and you just have a general idea, they're in this area, I'm getting them semi-regularly, that's where I'm going to set up on that field edge in a fence row. And I get teased sometimes by some people that I know. They go, are you a deer hunter or are you a deer watcher? Well, I'm a deer watcher until I'm a deer killer. You have to be a deer watcher to give yourself the opportunity to be a killer. Well, and I think that I've gotten better at that over the years.
You can't go into the game without a game plan.
I think we should quote him on that.
What?
Like Socrates, the deer watcher into a deer killer. That was pretty good.
But I think that's the mentality that you have to have, is you can't go in hair ablazing until you know, and then when you know, you make the move. And like he has said 3 times, if you're going to shoot at the king, you better not miss, because you might not get another chance. You've got to have some confidence with that at that point. All right, moving on. Trail cameras, maybe our favorite thing. We have had so much fun with trail cameras.
We have a lot more fun with watching them grow than we do whenever it's like, I was going to go sit today, but it doesn't look great, and then they walk by.
Yeah, that's not fun.
That's
not fun. We're recording this on May the 4th for you Star Wars fans. Our trail cameras are out.
Some of them. Not all, but...
Well, almost all of them, for different reasons. There 50%. Are a couple that aren't out. But our trail cameras are out. And we've had one in the woods for almost a month. It never came out.
Yeah.
I mean, it went dead. It went dead, but it never came out.
But then we put batteries in it.
But we're running almost all of our trail cameras again. That was not necessarily what you wanted, because we share the cost on those trail cameras. You are like, I'll pay for the extra, few weeks.
I'll pay for till the time that we usually put them out, which is typically late May or early June, which is a month.
But we have gotten to where we love watching them start to grow.
And I'd rather get them out with solars and not have to worry about them than it be June and it's 100 degrees and now I have to go put 12 cameras out.
We've gotten a couple of small bucks. They're starting to grow. I saw a bachelor group today in Energy on the way home at the intersection of Carterville Blacktop and 148. The best 2 bucks we've seen all year. One of them already was outside his head. Jeez. Wasn't outside. They were 50 yards off that intersection.
I'm going to have to start door knocking.
I couldn't believe it. I pulled up to the stoplight. I'm like, that's a deer. And it lifted its head. And I'm like, that's a buck. And he's got a decent rack already. I mean, it was like, this, but he had a couple of points already up. For May the 4th. And then one came out of the brush behind him. Wasn't quite as big, but I'm like, this is a major. We're in town.
No.
Lee Ellis
at Carterville Road or at
148 in Carterville Blacktop.
Yeah, Carterville Road.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So farther south.
Yeah. I was coming from the radio station. I stopped to turn onto 148, and I'm sitting there looking across toward the airport, and I'm like,
must be nice.
There's a good buck.
I will say this: we did
at 5:15.
We did get one that has is poking brows.
Yeah. Yep. So it's getting there. We have become to where we have a lot more fun with the trail cameras almost year round. We run them 10 months at least. This year, 11 months, really, at least one. But I don't know that that really goes between aggressive and conservative, because in the summer we'll put them on food sources, we'll put them on field edges. That's where most of ours are now. But we will also put them smack dab in the middle of the bedding areas. And I don't know, you talk to people that'll put them way up high, and I don't know that it makes a huge difference.
I think it depends on your area.
We've had mature bucks that absolutely saw that camera.
Well, that takes me back to in 21, down in the bottoms, we had that big buck, big 9. He blew up from the year before. We watched him through the summer and we lost it in August. But we had a couple videos of him. He would walk that trail, snap his head at that cuttyback, and then bolt. He knew exactly what he was looking at. That
might be the only shooter that we've had that reacted that way.
And because he'd come up on a couple
cameras. And I wonder what makes, if it's just out of place or if they had some kind of a bad experience, because we've had a lot of shooters that look at it. I mean,
and
we've got hundreds of pictures of them. They'll notice it,
and then they'll go back to doing what they're doing. Yeah, like it just kind of looks weird on that tree and whatever.
And we've never put them way up high. No, out of the vision.
No, you put them higher than I would like because of angles.
Well, sometimes you miss some things because of the motion detection if you put them up higher. I get it.
Yeah, and but when it comes to trail cameras, man, like that was kind of my thought process this year anyway, was like, I'm itching already. I've been seeing some bucks that are poking. I want to get some out with some solars on them to where I don't have to worry about them for a while, rather than setting them up in June when we usually do when it's hot.
Yeah. All right. James has gone to the little boys' room, but I want to keep moving ahead here. And the next thing that I want to talk about is hunting frequency and how often you go. And I want to be in the woods every chance I get.
Yep.
But
they pattern you too.
You have to, I think that's where you have to have enough different places that you can hunt a lot without burning anything out.
They have an internal clock. They may not know the day, the time, and stuff, but you show up often enough on a weekend because you work Monday through Friday. They're gonna have that pattern. They're gonna have that sixth sense and be like, he's gonna be here today because it's the it's the weekend.
Haven't seen him in a few days.
And that's what sucks about it, because most people work anymore, and you go when you can. And a lot of times it comes on those weekends. Mm-hmm. I get 3 personal days at my job. I have to pick. I really have to pick on what days I go.
Leroy always used to say, and I don't know that I buy this either, but Leroy always used to say that for every deer you see, 20 see you.
No. Mm-mm. And that all depends on your entry, your exit, stuff like that. Like, I almost guarantee you that 230 entry that you were after for a while saw you several times walking in.
I'm sure he saw me more than I saw him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that is a world-class whitetail compared to your average Joe.
Mm-hmm. That was always something that Dad said, and I'm like, I don't know that I buy that. Now, I believe that we are seen more than we see. If you go in scouting, you go in putting in cameras, I think that more of them will see you than you see them. I do. I think you go in, you're going to see the ones that are obvious or that you blow out, but those that, especially a mature buck will hold. I've got stories of myself and of people that I know that buck will hold tight. And I've heard of them like crawling away.
Mm-hmm. You've told me about that.
Yeah, it's insane. But the 20-to-1 thing, that was something that Dad always would repeat. And I think that it was more about, just be mindful that you're not seeing every deer that's out there. Mm-hmm. But they're seeing you. We're talking, Jamie, about frequency and hunting. And when it becomes bow season, I want to be in the woods every chance I get. But you can't burn a spot out either. So you have to have enough spots that you can go and enjoy your time out in the woods, because that's my, I mean, I love to be out there, whether it is hunting or scouting or shed hunting or putting trail cameras out. I like to be out in the woods. So I want to be out as much as I can during the season, but you can't go hammer that same spot over and over and over. So what are your thoughts on hunting frequency? And Jaden was talking about, you can't burn a spot, but you can't kill him from the couch. Mm-hmm. So what do you think?
Well, I think that you can kind of play that by ear. Just because I'm in one property doesn't mean I'm hunting the same spot.
As long as your access point's different.
Yeah, because I don't know that any of the properties that we have access to, you would be able to hunt, more than 2 or 3 days in a row without really, I think, hurting it.
No. Yeah, but in reality, outside of you, how often do we hunt 2 or 3 days in a row?
That's true. And one of the things that you missed while you were gone, Jaden said, deer will pattern us too. Mm-hmm. If you're only there every 4 or 5 days, I believe that some of those deer are going to figure that out. It's about, I haven't seen him. It's about time. I'm going to lay low, or I'm going to move this way.
They don't have a calendar, or they don't have a watch, but they have to have an internal clock. Every living organism has an internal clock with the sun, the moon, all that. But at some point, they're going to get that sixth sense because they've seen it so often. They're going to be like, it's happening. It's going to be today or tomorrow.
Yeah, but at the same time, again, if I'm hunting a deer and we know that he's typically frequenting, is that the word? What am I looking for? Frequenting?
I don't know.
Like if you frequent something, what's the
pattern?
No.
Frequenting.
I'm saying it right. It just didn't sound right.
Yeah.
If he's going to the north more often than not, hunting the south with a different access point is very similar to hunting a different woods.
Can be.
Like
if you're on the fringe.
If you're on the fringe, yeah. Staying out of the north, you guys talked about staying out of the corner. If you're staying out of that corner, you are hindering yourself in a lot of ways because that's a huge corridor, and it's a big area that they like to cover. Historically, we love seeing deer through there. The cameras are always hot.
Only in the season.
But
we learned that.
If I'm hunting, the middle stand, that is not the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like that is completely different. My walk is different. My entry point's different. Their pattern is different. I can cover a lot of woods from that one stand without even being on top of them. So pulling out of that corner and just adjusting myself and saying, okay, game plan tonight's going to be, can we get anything going through the middle of the woods and checking the field, to boom, I'm in here to make a play. Mm-hmm. Just by shifting, 250, 300 yards? Mm-hmm. It's not much, but that completely changes the aspect of the game, and it takes you out of it a little bit, but also helps you in the fact that that's not overpressured while being in the woods and knowing what's going on. Mm-hmm. So you've got to be careful with it, but you can also meander your way around it a little bit as well. You can't just dive in and go constantly. And I feel like we've done that in the past. And sometimes we've been hindered to where that's all we've got, and you got to make the best of what you've got. And, sometimes it's screw it, we've got to go hunt. Mm-hmm. But if you can limit it. In the year that we had COVID, we didn't have a ton of options, and we still made it work. Mm-hmm. So it was more being smart about getting in and getting out so you don't burn it out. Yeah. I'm going to sit here today. I'm not going to call. I'm going to get in, and I'm going to sit and be silent. Yep. And if it happens, it happens. And then, 2 days down the road, maybe I'm more aggressive now.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're going to move ahead, and this is going to be the lightning round. Okay, so get ready. All right. Now the rules are, there is no depends. It is either or. It is one way only. Okay? I'm going to give you a scenario, or I'm going to give you some options, and you're going to have to choose one or the other. And then I want you to tell me just real quick, because I want to keep this moving, why you chose that one compared to the other. Okay? All right, first one. Jaden up first. Bow or gun?
Bow.
Why?
Many more days to be in a tree.
Okay, Jamie, bow or gun?
Bow.
Why?
It's harder.
Yes,
Too.
that's mine.
That too.
Bow or gun? I mean, a gun, you have such a wider range, but with a bow, it is more difficult.
I would have said that as well, but
Yeah.
I'm just thinking
But
more
yes,
opportunities,
more days.
more times
It's
to be out there.
3.5 months compared to 7 days.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
my 220 shoots to 200 yards.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's great.
Yeah.
If I drop a 200 incher at 200 yards, you're never going to hear me complain.
Not at all.
No, we
But-
won't hear the end of it.
You wouldn't. But at the same time, it can shoot out to 200 yards.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
that the biggest deer of my life is with a gun. And that adrenaline rush was not the
That's-
same as a miss.
That's exactly
Right.
how
with a
I
bow.
am. I've
Yeah.
killed 2 great deer with a gun. I've killed a
Not
or
the, it's
3-year-old
not the
eight.
same.
It's not the same.
It's not the
and
same.
I probably have more pride in the bow kill than I do the other 2.
Yep. All right, next one. And I know the answer to this, but we're going to go there because some people aren't this way. Public or private, Jamie?
Private.
Private.
Given the option,
Do you want me to
given
explain why?
the option,
It's a hell of a lot easier.
it is. And
I was going to say,
kudos to those public guys.
You're way tougher than
Oh
me.
my gosh.
You kept it,
are freaking awesome. It's hard.
I was just going to say morons.
Well, but that's why it's harder.
They're I mean, there is another level there.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
If you're killing big mature deer on public land, congratulations to you.
Consistently.
I mean, good stuff.
And there are some dudes that consistently kill big deer on public.
Those are bad dudes.
Those are badass dudes right there. Yeah,
Yep.
I agree. Given a choice, and we didn't have a choice for a while, and we got a taste of
We
public.
dabbled.
but it gave us the opportunity to be out, to try some different things. We weren't successful. It wasn't great. But also, we didn't do it long enough to really to learn a lot either.
Yeah.
You know,
it was almost like a practice run for things that we wanted to try.
it was because there were to me, I mean, right or wrong, the stakes weren't as high.
No.
You screw this up,
Now,
And the standards weren't as high
This-
either.
this
You know,
takes
we
me-
weren't hunting
specific. Yeah, specific. It might have been if we'd have had a 170 inch that we knew on public, it might have been a different
But
story.
like, that was the year that I got to really dive into the saddle hunting.
Mhm.
You know, and we tried different things, you know, in different areas. I used a climber. I used a saddle. I learned how I liked my saddle.
Mhm.
You were more aggressive.
Mhm.
We hunted off the ground more. You know,
Yeah.
we were
Use that
No,
ghost blind more.
We weren't jerks. We weren't jerks by any means. You know,
No,
we definitely kept our standard of hunting, but we were able to play with a little bit. It was more house
money. That's a good. That's
You know,
a good
well,
analogy.
that was going to take me back to kind of what we talked about with cameras earlier. Was when we're public. I mean, I will never risk a tactic cam on public.
No,
I don't trust
no.
anybody. So then, and that's all we use anymore is tactic cams. We use cell cameras, and that's it. That feeling of not having any idea what's in this area
is kind of cool
is
too.
awesome.
Yeah,
Because-
and that goes back to how I grew up. You just never knew what was going to come through.
Yep.
You had no idea.
That was
There's
a
good
pro
and
to
bad
that.
there with that tech. I love our cell cameras. I love being able to learn them, to see them, to pattern them. But man, there's something about not having any idea what might
If we
come
ever
through
get
the
an
woods.
extra property, depending on the size of it,
Just have a camera-free property.
and just go,
We would never do that.
I feel like
Probably not.
We would never do that.
well, I would propose it.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. You went first last time. Mobile or permanent, like a hang-on stand?
Mobile.
James? Mobile. Yeah. Absolutely mobile.
Got to be able to throw a curveball in there every once in a while.
And where my mind changed on that, we used to use, I'll have to throw this in maybe at some point. When I was younger and we talked about the Johnson County dudes, and I want to get those guys in here sometime. You had Gary Wangler, you had David Jones, you had Ted Thompson, you had Leroy, you had Dwight Bernard, you had Paul Genesio when he was with us. Those guys, they would go down to Johnson County and they built their own hang-on stands, and these things might have weighed 50 pounds. They were so heavy. They were like 3/4 inch plywood platforms, seat. They would.
No, there's an old one by your barn.
Yes, Eric Wengler made one this year.
Quite the contraption.
It was he made one like our dads used to, but man, those were hard to put up. But that's what we hunted.
Have you never hunted out of one?
They're great. I mean, they're heavy chains. I mean, they are sturdy.
Yeah, they're sturdy and
They're
durable.
hard. They're hard to hang, but they're
like
great.
standing on concrete.
Yeah, they're great. They're so sturdy. But that's all I ever hunted. And then, as Dad wasn't able to climb like that, we kind of transitioned into some ladder stands, and we used a lot of ladder stands for a while. But then where I kind of got the bug, and I had a climber, I had an old Loggy Bayou climber. I mean, one of the first ones. But where I kind of got that bug of really wanting to be more mobile was just sitting on a freaking bucket during shotgun season. Because we would hunt these areas and you would observe. And then when it came shotgun, I'd take my bucket in and I'd walk in and I'd plop down. And I had a lot of success like that. And it's like, oh, I like this being able to move and adjust from one hunt to the next.
I know you don't see nearly as much on the ground as you do from a tree, but there is something about sitting on the ground and hunting.
So we're all mobile.
Yep.
All mobile.
And you started using climbers more. Pawpaw used climbers, and you started teaching me how to use a climber specifically because we ran out of, private ground. And, we used the climber for about a year. And the thing that really ticked me off was I don't like being told no. I don't.
Okay.
Like, I want to be able to go wherever the hell I want.
Okay.
And that made me switch to a saddle. And I sold my saddle. And I didn't even get the rims I wanted. But when
sacrifices.
When after this year, it was like, okay, it's time to find another thing. What do I want to spend? Well, I didn't want to spend the money on a full saddle get up. So I went to the mobile tree stand rather than, spend $1,000. I spent about $5 or $6. And if you guys would try it, I don't think you'd ever use a climber again.
I'm getting old.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because you are just as physically demanding in a climber as,
hanging those sticks and everything.
Once you get used to it, you're going to be sore when you start. Just the pressure points.
But you're always sore when you first start climbing back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and
I'll tell you this. I remember my first time climbing this year. My whole body was sore the next day.
I don't know that I could. I don't know that I could use the Summit all the time. Like you use a Summit all the time. I use now that Lone Wolf. I don't know that I could use a Summit all the time.
I remember taking that Lone Wolf in one time and I couldn't figure it out. You know what I ended up doing?
Sitting on the ground.
Yes, sir.
I'm pretty sure that I tore my labrum one time.
Now, I've done that before too.
Yeah. With a Summit.
Hey, but that guy plays in the NFL. So
he doesn't play in the NFL. He has an opportunity to play in the NFL. But
did he get signed?
He signed.
Okay, yeah. I
practice
guess.
squad or not?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
Where's your jersey?
All right.
$200K a year to practice.
So this is a hunting podcast. Not shout out to Austin Brown.
Congratulations, Austin.
Congratulations,
Brown.
AB.
He's not going to listen to this, but congrats to that guy.
Somebody might show it to him. Who knows?
It's cool.
That Summit, you would brace yourself and then you would pull up. Well, it's not like I got the best abs in the world, but what I did was I didn't have this shoulder right, and I pulled something, and I mean for like 6 to 8 months, my shoulder hurt.
I'll tell you this: that day that platform fell out from underneath me, I tore a few muscles. I was sore.
But I switched to the Lone Wolf. It's a sit-down climber. That thing is easy.
You know what I call that?
No, I don't want to know what you call that. Moving on. I know that I can get in some trees with my Lone Wolf. You can't get in with a Summit, and it's much easier on 52-year-old dad.
You killed Vader too.
The most aggressive is the least mobile out of all three of us.
It's interesting.
What do you mean?
I can get in trees that you can't. He can get in trees that you can't with the Summit. Yeah.
I can get into any tree I want.
Yeah, that setup he's got.
It's because he's so heavy.
He can get in trees I can't get into.
That's what it is. It's that 80 pounds of weight.
Because we have to we have to cut limbs. He can go around the limbs.
I could
with
probably
that.
climb those trees with my bare hands better than I can with that stuff.
All right, let's move on. Let's move
Get
on.
her up
Okay.
like a squirrel, start flicking
All
her
right,
tail.
James, you're up first. Morning or evening?
He's got one answer.
I don't. Because I'd rather hunt in the evening, early, and morning late.
What?
Early in the
Early in
year,
the season.
I would rather
evening.
hunt in the evening.
Oh, well,
and-
duh.
and-
Yeah.
And then,
I wouldn't start hunting mornings until rut.
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, what do you go with that?
Wherever you want to go.
Oh, hell. Skip.
Skip. No, there's no depends. It is one or the other, and you
Okay.
have to defend it.
All right. Evening.
Why?
Because I won't screw up as much in the evening. I won't forget a belt. I won't lose something in the dark.
all right.
If that's what we've got to do, that's why.
Okay.
Evening.
Evening.
Food.
Okay.
It's much easier. Like I said, I climb a lot. I'd much rather climb in the evening than in the morning because I can see in the evening compared to morning. Now, like when I sit in the morning, I'm going to be 98% of the time I will be in a hang on in the morning then because it just makes your life easier.
Yeah, unless you're
Less
able to
screw-ups,
leave.
but
your
I prefer
climber in, yeah.
evenings 100%.
Yeah, like if it's got to be one or the other, I am terrified of leaving something at the house or dropping it in the dark.
It's not that with me. It's just I just don't hunt a whole lot in the morning.
All right, because I make the rules.
Both, bastard.
Because I make the rules.
Hey, we go.
I'm not going to say
depends.
I'm not going to say depends, but there's going to be two different answers.
That's what I did.
But I make the rules, you don't. Early in the year, it's evening.
Duh.
Later, it's morning because two reasons. One, in the morning, you can get in and sit on a bedding area and let the does come in off the fields and then let the bucks come in cruising the does. What I love evenings, but evenings are so easy to screw up because you're hunting on the food source. It's hard to get out. And that has become more and more of an issue, getting out without messing the area up. That is why I am less keen on the evenings than I've ever been, because I love it. I love hunting those field edges. I love hunting those food sources. But man, it's hard to get out of there without butchering it.
I just grunt at him.
And that's a valid, yeah.
I don't play.
Yeah,
No.
that's a valid tactic.
No, if it's getting dark, there's no way I'm falling out of a tree. I'm gonna.
You know what I'm hitting them with?
No, I don't grunt. I roar, and that normally sends the does out of the field.
I hit them with a little.
No, that is not the good thing. I'll blow at them. I'll blow at them. Like, deer blow all the time.
Snort wheeze is a good one.
Yeah. I wouldn't want them to see me, but yeah, I've dropped stuff out of it. If it's just does, I'll drop stuff out of the tree.
Just get out.
Yeah.
Start getting down. In
Yeah. Come down. Yeah.
I did that.
Does within 50 yards of us.
I did that this year. Jefferson.
Yep.
I waited so long. I was like,
Yeah.
it's getting to the. I don't hunt. With
I'm just going.
I don't go with the light anymore. I feel like they can
Well, you
always.
can't see anyway after like 4:30. So.
I climbed out of that tree, and there was a doe 30, 35 yards away.
And that
she
becomes a
didn't-
fun game too.
And she didn't go.
Can I get down?
She didn't know until I got in the leaves, and I was like, "That's honestly impressive."
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. I would rather be like, okay, shooting light's over. It's just does. I'm moving the field and get down, then sit and try to wait them out.
And then end up with a stud out there that you have no idea is there. I
See,
get that. Yeah.
No. I'm getting out of the stand.
All right, couple more things. All right, so I think Jaden, are you up first now, or is
Yes,
Jaden?
it's me.
Yeah.
Jaden's up first. All right, food plots and food source or woods. Food.
Because if you put big woods, if you would have put bedding, I would have been a lot more 50-50. No, 50-50.
Unk.
It definitely food compared to just big woods.
Definitely food. Yeah, definitely food.
Yeah.
James, food.
No food.
Yeah,
You
food.
know-
With those
Food.
options.
Yeah.
'Cause
Food.
They're gonna have to eat.
Food.
They're gonna have to eat. Something's gonna come out.
Yep. Okay, I know the answer to this one too, but we'll see. Maybe not. James, cameras or no cameras?
Cameras.
Jaden?
Cameras.
All day long, even though you want to get a property and not run cameras just to see what happens.
Yeah. You got more pros and cons there. I mean, you have way more pros with a cell camera in there than you do without. So
I want to make sure it's calculated whatever we do. It might not be for a specific buck or things like that, but like I want to know if this area's got anything coming in. Because how many times have we thought this place is going to be awesome and it's not?
Or we really didn't have a lot of faith, and it's like, there are 3 150 plus deer on that farm.
Yeah. Like that's the thing is I would rather have a camera in there just to have an idea of where I need to hunt. Like, why would I, instead of running a camera, sit for 3 nights in a row and be like, oh, this place sucks. Now I've wasted 3 hunts. I'd rather have a camera there for a week and be like, there hasn't been a thing come within 100 yards of that camera in front of it, at least. We've had that discussion too. But at least in front of it, we haven't seen anything.
All right. The last one of our rapid fire, lightning round. You're up, right?
Him.
You? Full season or rut?
What do you mean?
Which would you prefer? To hunt the outside of the rut or only in the rut? You only get to choose one.
No, full season.
Full.
Absolutely. That's changed for me.
Yeah, I think
the rut is still magical because there can be some absolutely insane sits and you still have that opportunity that something may walk by that you have no idea is existing. But I'd much rather hunt outside of it.
Back to what we talked about earlier with early and late season, as in they're more you can pattern them more, and I would much rather pattern something than go sit and say what's going to happen.
Well, you've got that, and that's extremely valid and correct. But why 3.5 weeks? From start to finish, like. Everything we do revolves around this. My wife, your wife know on a Saturday night what we're going to go do.
Not my wife.
Yes.
If you got 100 acres.
But they know what we're going to do. They know what it does during the summer. My kids, my son likes to drive the back way home to look for deer. Why spend 9 months out of the year if you're not going to take the 3-month season? We put way too much time in not to get our money's worth out of it.
Then that's where it comes to, I don't just prepare for 3.5 weeks anymore.
Prepare for 3.5 months.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Last thing, and I haven't told you guys this.
Great.
We haven't gone here in a while.
Fantastic.
We're going to do What Would Leroy Say?
Is there a paywall?
I can edit censored sounds.
Beep,
Okay?
beep, 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 beep.
All right, so here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you, in your best Leroy impersonation, to tell me what Leroy would say. Okay?
2 different scenarios for each of it? Like, he gets one,
I'm
I
just
get
going to
one?
get, no.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Let's start out with, you're in the stand and you see the deer that you've been after for the last 3 months, all summer long. He's 150 yards away. The wind is not right, but you got cover. What would Leroy say in that situation?
Sit tight. Your chances are tighter than a nut.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Lord.
You said you'd edit. You said you'd edit.
We just went NC-17.
Would he say
I should have started with you, James.
Would he say something like that?
He might. Yeah, you're right. He might, yeah. All right, James, you're up.
Wipe the tears out of my eyes. God. Hold on. Can I?
You can't get enough wrinkle.
I can't get enough wrinkle.
No.
If you're going to do it, you better make it worth it.
Okay.
If you can picture what I was trying to do, I couldn't quite get the eyes and the wrinkles, but I could totally see him. If you're gonna do it, it better get done. Like you better not mess it up, otherwise you won't come back.
Okay. All right. Here's my thought on that one, and I can see the face. I can see the furrowed forehead. James. You sure it ain't gonna kill him sitting there, are you?
He'd say that too.
You ain't gonna kill him sitting there, are you?
The problem is all three of us are right.
Mm-hmm. It depends on the day.
And the real question is how many slugs are in the gun?
And now that he's gone, even better question, is the plug in the gun?
Yeah.
Gotta let him fly, boys.
The answer's no.
Can't shoot him.
You never knew. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't.
Let's just say the first thing I learned how to do with my A5 was take the plug out.
That's insane.
It was
Not that we would ever do that now. It's a different world.
We don't even hardly shotgun hunt, to be honest.
Quite genuinely, I don't even hunt with the A5, but I'm serious. I'm 12 years old. He's teaching me how to clean guns.
God love Leroy.
And he breaks down this beautiful gun in front of me, and he had just told me it was going to be
Here's how
mine.
you take this orange plug out, James.
He just gave me this gun, and he goes, if it's going to be yours, you got to learn how to clean it. I'm like, okay, so we're cleaning it. And he goes, you screw this thing off, and then he breaks it down, and he goes, this is the plug. And he goes, you're supposed to have 3 shells in your gun. Supposed to. He goes, ain't no one looking for that. And he threw it over his shoulder. No, I didn't think that was as funny as he did.
No, I do not recommend. Do not recommend. Well,
man, there's some good Leroy stories.
Yep, we love you, Leroy. I want to bring that. We talked about doing that. We did it a couple of times early. I want to bring that back to where we've got what would Leroy say at the end of every segment?
I don't think it needs to
dangerous.
be quite a legitimate Leroy quote, though.
No, I do. Well, I think it needs to be exactly what we think he would say.
We teased some shirts and stuff like that. That would need to be something we bring on. Is what would
Leroy say?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good idea. We need to mess around with that.
All right, we'll have to think about that a little bit. We've been doing episodes every couple of weeks through the summer because there's just not been a whole lot going on with the hunting side of it. But now that we have cameras out, there may be some more things coming up, and we're not going anywhere by any means.
I was just gonna say before we get into like the close or whatever. Mm-hmm. Whether you watch it on like the Max Media stuff, YouTube, stuff like that, we kind of want to get ideas from what you guys want to hear. Our opinions from what you guys want to listen to.
Sure. Our email is on there. On social media, you can send us a message.
I think on the website, there's a spot that you can send stuff into.
Stuff that you want to kind of listen to, or you might want to just be a topic throughout. We're always looking for things to talk about.
Or if there's something that these two have said that is just completely wrong and off the wall, tell us.
Yeah, you can say that too.
Well, you can say that and you can be wrong. It's fine. We're in America.
But we welcome your feedback, your input, and we'd love to hear your ideas as well. So, what have we learned tonight?
Nothing.
But no, it's pretty simple, really. It doesn't matter how you hunt. You're gonna be wrong sometimes.
We're gonna disagree with things, and you're gonna be wrong in some way.
You guys will be.
Yeah, you can play it safe, and you can never see a deer, or you can get really aggressive, and you can blow the entire woods out. And I've done that many times. And somehow we always keep coming back and thinking we've got it all figured out, and we just don't. That's hunting. Okay, we appreciate you guys listening to OSNG. Share this with a buddy who swears his way or her way is the right way. We'll see you next time. This is Jamie. This is Jaden. I'm Clark. We're OSNG.